Hello everybody, we are back for another video. We put a lift kit, I guess you could say, on the old wood stove in the garage. And there's a couple reasons I've done that. As you can see there, raised it up probably a foot roughly from where it was. And one, the main reason was so I could use exactly two 2-foot pieces of stovepipe vertically to get up to my thimble there that goes through the wall. That's what I call it, a thimble. I don't know what it really called. It's a big heavy piece of pipe well casing welded to that piece of sheet metal. I built that years ago. That works pretty decent. But that's why I did that. It was mainly so I didn't have to section a third piece of stovepipe to get up to that elbow. That's the main reason. And another reason, I guess the secondary, or well, I don't know. They're pretty equal to me. I'm holding this about about neck height. About neck height right here. So if you look at that, see how it is up. That stove door hits me about in the belly. Let me tell you, that makes a huge difference when you're putting wood in the stove. It's rather than kneeling down and doing it, you can just basically stand up and do it, it's a game changer for me. It is a game changer. I don't have the blower on right now because it's dang warm in here in the garage. I've had that blower running for a couple hours with a good fire. It's got nice and toasty in here. I just unplugged it. Welded these angle iron braces across the front. Actually, my daughter did that. I'm trying to teach her to weld, and still got to weld. If you see, I still got the clamps, in the back of it. I still need to weld that up to the legs. I've not done that yet, but my daughter welded these front ones. That's the first time she's ever used a MIG welder. That's pretty dang good, I think. Pretty dang good. Just kind of coached her and gave her a little instruction as she went. She just ripped it off there. So still need to finish those back couple welds there. We're gonna be in good shape on this. I tell you, that old stove has done really great. Really, really great. If anybody's got any questions about the stove or how I built it, I know I've probably done 2 or 3 videos on the stove, but it's probably ridiculous to most people. But to me, it's just, I love a good wood stove. I love building them. I love burning them. I love heating with them. I just really enjoy them. So I'm going to do a video on this table saw. This is a El Cheapo table saw. See the brand, I don't even know. GMC, Global Machinery Company. It's an El Cheapo table saw I've had for years. And I've used it quite a bit, actually. For various projects around the house here. And the weakness of this saw was a little thin aluminum fence that kind of ran on a track that's underneath this angle now. So back a week or so ago, I actually decided it was time to upgrade this thing because it cuts good. I mean, I've cut You know, 2x lumber, no problem. I've cut some oak with it, no problem. It's got plenty of power, and it cuts straight. The problem I had with it, I had to use a vice grip clamp to clamp the fence down on this little generic looking aluminum track right here. So I decided to fix that. What I ended up doing was taking a piece of, I think that's 2" by 1/8" angle, just a piece of scrap that I had laying around. And I bolted that down to the track that the old fence ran on, and that got me down below the table, which worked out perfect. Welded on some 2 by 1/4, maybe 3/16, 2" by 3/16 pieces of strapping right there on both sides, and a piece of pipe right here. I think this is 1¼ and this is 1½ pipe. See right there, it kind of glides on that grate. And just put a simple nut there to tighten it. And I ended up doing this afterwards. This was kind of an afterthought, but that's just to kind of keep it square. I can square this thing perfectly with this and this. And all this is just I drilled and threaded a hole into this pipe and then run a 1/4" bolt in with a nut on it, and that way I can adjust how much of this or how much of this. Because there's a little bit, you know, when you put a pipe on a pipe, there's going to be just a little bit of play. You don't want that on a table saw. But this, you can take it completely out. And I've got it perfectly square right now. So whenever I tighten this up right now, that fence is perfectly square to that blade. And the fence is just a piece of 1 by 2 1/8" wall, rectangular tubing. Could have made it a little longer, but this piece I had laying around, so I used it. And also, when I was working on this thing, I decided to make the table just a little bit bigger. So I've got some 1 by 4 pine boards here, and I just made some brackets. It's not fancy. See it there? It's just some 1 by 2 angle iron pieces cut off. I think I cut them at like 3/4 inches long, just to make some brackets, and bolted to the table saw, and then screwed up into the wood on both sides and in the back. That was a really good upgrade too, because that's another problem with these little cheap table saws. The table is so small. So small. But that gave me, let's see, back out here, that gave me quite a bit of working area there. That really enlarged the table, made it a lot more workable. But if anybody's got a cheap, and I know a million of these things have been sold, these little cheap table saws, and that's the biggest drawback, is the fence and the table size. That's the 2 big main problems with them, because the power's there. I mean, they'll power through anything you want to feed them with a decent blade on them. Yeah, of course this little stand's just nothing special. It's just a little wood stand. I've got a couple of crazy casters, crazy wheels I call them, just swivel casters on the front there, and the back's just some blocks. So I can pick the back of it up and kind of wheel it around anywhere I want it. But once I let go of it, it's pretty well planted down so it don't try to walk off on you when you're sawing. Works pretty good. I don't have any problem with that at all. But that fence is the cat's meow. Makes a huge difference. It makes this like a different piece of equipment, for sure. If anybody's got any questions on that or comments or anything else, let me know. Got any questions or comments on the wood stove over here, let me know. And I appreciate everybody watching. Hit that subscribe button. And stay warm. We're going to try to here in Kentucky tonight. It's been cold the last 2 nights down in the teens, but we're going to keep the fire burning. We're going to stay warm. So, Kentucky Stat out.